name is Eric Auger. I am the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and certainly want you to kick back, relax, and take the next 60 minutes with us to, again, learn what you can about what to do when you're researching yourself for a new business opportunity. This may be your first time to be on one of our webinars, so if you'll just give me a moment just to share with you a little bit about who we are. Those that have been on here quite often, just bear with us so we can make sure that we share a little bit about who we are here at American Business Systems. As you can see here, we've got several different suites of services that you can actually offer to doctors in the medical revenue management business, which is really just boiled down to medical billing. So we've been, again, like I said, in business for 22 years, and if you haven't had a chance or opportunity to go through our website here, certainly be able to take some time to go through that. You can learn some more about what we're even going to show today about income potential, but if you haven't looked through this, you can go find out more about us, the business package, income potential, the news, frequent asked questions. So give us a good tour here. Then, right up here at the top, it says take the e-tour. If you haven't been through that, you can jump on that. That'll also help give you a good amount of information about the whole business opportunity with us here at American Business Systems. Obviously, people want to know how we stand and where we do. And so, folks, as you're doing and looking ways to research your business opportunity and franchise, one of the things we're going to be talking about today is check out with a reputable company. There are a lot of different things on the internet you can go find out too, but folks, the only one that we can basically trust right now on the internet is the Better Business Bureau. We still have an A+ rating, so we're actually going to encourage you to go out there and check us out there. And folks, just like yourself, for a lot of you that are on the call today, these people that you're seeing here are real people. They're real licensees from coast to coast. They were on the webinars just like you are. And again, today we're going to show you how that you can contact these folks and talk with them about a reference about what we are here at American Business Systems. Everything that runs the whole medical billing business, or the Certified Medical Revenue Managers group, as we'll hopefully be able to talk a little bit about today, is this platform. It is the iClaim EMRX platform. This is where everything kind of just the nucleus of all of what we do here at American Business System. It's a web-based platform. Again, we're going to share a little bit about that today as well, as you're looking about the uniqueness of your product and or your service as you're doing your research on your business opportunity or franchise. So we'll get into a little bit more about that as the webinar goes on. Folks, we'd love for you to come by and visit. We know that you can only do so much research online. You can always attend as many webinars as you want to, but a few of you, I know that because I recognize your names that are on here today, you've actually taken the opportunity to come by and visit us. Folks, we are conveniently located here in the Fort Worth area, 5751 Kroger Drive here in Fort Worth, Texas. Love for you to come by, whether you're flying in or driving in. We'll certainly help coordinate your visit, and we look forward to having you to be able to come by and visit with us as you're, again, researching your business opportunity. Let me tell you real quickly about our founder, which is Patrick Phillips. He's not only the founder, but the CEO of American Business Systems. He was a former Apple executive. He's a best-selling author. These two that you see on there, Cash Crunch, Cash Flow, and How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, actually coming out with another book here very shortly, and then maybe one other to follow that one probably towards the end of the year. He's a nationally recognized motivational speaker. He's on the editorial board of the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine, and he's also the founder of the Medical Revenue Managers Association of America. We'll certainly talk a little bit more about that too as well as we go through today. So let me bring Patrick on.
Yeah, looking at businesses and franchises out there, I know it can get confusing because I did that at one point in my career, just trying to find something to start. My wife actually started medical billing back in the late 80s, and she was making such good money at that. I got involved in it myself, and then, of course, we got asked by friends and relatives how we got this started and how could they get started in it. So we developed a training program that, we've been doing for the last 22 years, teaching other people how to start this business.
It is very exciting. All right, so folks, we're going to just this slide up here just again to remind you that this webinar is not about Patrick and me so much as this is about you. This is your time to ask your questions. Folks, you know where the question box is now so that you can start typing your questions. And so, again, we thank you for typing in your names there and your city and state So Patrick, let's just kind of kick this thing off right now. First of all, let me tell you, congratulations on 22 years. I mean, there's not a lot of businesses that have made it 22 years.
Yeah, and somebody said the other day to me on the phone, said, Patrick, it's amazing that you and your family can actually work together for 22 years and not kill each other. And I thought, that's probably unusual, but it is a family-owned business. My wife is not involved in the business right now. She's just basically retired. My son is now the president of the company, and my daughter is also still involved as one of our business development coaches. So it's a great business for anybody who wants to start a family business.
Exactly, and and you certainly laid it out very, very nicely about how all that's working there with your family, and then how your family is actually expanding out to other families, and so that's what we want to talk about today. So as we kind of set the stage of what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be actually, Patrick and I are going to kind of lead you on a path of some things that you should be either thinking about, or if you're talking with a business opportunity or franchise, you ought to be asking these questions. So, Patrick, let's just start off with this first one here. Certainly, we just talked about the 22 years, and so folks need to be asking about the company's history. Why is that so important, especially within the internet age?
Well, it's because companies can start up fairly quickly and they can look like they've been around for a long time, but they really haven't been, and they don't maybe lie about it. But you can check us out, of course, as having been in business right here in the Fort Worth area for the last 22 years. We've been in the same building that we're in right now, I think, for almost 10 years, at least under the same landlord. So you can check with the people who own the building that we're in. And of course, you can also check with the Better Business Bureau. We've been with them for a long, long time as well. So that's important because the stability of a company in today's world, well, they come and go, right? And so you want that company to be around to be able to support you, and that's why that's important.
Well, I know that we've got this sign up here right now, or this slide up here, talking about, for 22 years, you've been helping, and ABS has been helping entrepreneurs who have trusted our medical billing training program. And it's a little bit different from what people would go to, like a college or anything else, other types of schools, because not only are we giving the education about how to do medical billing, but combined with what's down there at the below, we're the only company that offers live training, a lifetime of support, and 100% money-back guarantee.
Yeah, I think that's important that people realize that what distinguishes us from a lot of business opportunity and franchise companies out there is the fact that we do have not just a live training program right here in Dallas, a workshop that you fly here or drive here and sit through it for a full week, but we also have lifetime support. That's pretty unusual in this industry. Most franchises will give you lifetime support because you got to pay them 6 to 9% every month royalties. But we don't have any royalties, no ongoing fees at all. So once someone has purchased our licensing fee, we call it, they're a business owner and they will always be an ABS licensee.
Patrick, I know that we're going to be getting to this a little bit later, and I may save this question, so let's not forget it. Althea is asking about, I see the 100% money-back guarantee. How does this work, and what are the conditions? Actually, we're going to talk about that, Althea, so if you'll just wait, hang in there. It's going to be talked about towards the end of the webinar today. But moving on just a little bit here, Patrick, this is, I think, whenever you and Linda actually did get started with medical billing.
Yeah, that was back in about 1987. I can tell from the ages there of my children, Adam and Sarah. That's Linda, my wife, who started doing the billing. And like I said, I was doing some computer consulting for a period of time there. I was an executive with Apple Computer here in the Dallas area when they had a plant here. And she started doing so well in that business, I said, I think she's found something here. I think I need to get involved in this. So we did. We developed a training program, very crude as we look back in our history. Of course, it was basically a CD that people got with some medical billing software on it and a manual. That was about it. And then, of course, we did live training, but I think at the time it was like 2 days of training. So we've expanded that now, and it takes a good solid week to get through our training program. It's pretty heavy duty.
Well, I know that history, again, with any type of company. So I mean, certainly that they can spend a lot more money with folks that have been in business as long as we have. But when you're looking at the history, you're looking at what you get. I think when you start to boil it down, the putting everything together, the cost, possibly the ongoing cost, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Folks, hopefully you're going to see all of this blends together as you're looking and doing the research the right way on your business opportunity. Let's quickly talk. We've really talked in brief in the introduction about the Better Business Bureau. Patrick, why don't you just kind of take the lead here on when people are researching any type of business opportunity and or franchise. I'm sure there's a lot of things out on the internet that can be said about any particular company, but there's only a few trusted places you can go to, and the Better Business Bureau has been
one of
around the longest.
they actually started in 1917. The Better Business Bureau, and so they're in every major city in the United States, and they do monitor businesses to make sure that they are at least doing what they say they're going to do. That's the bottom line. The Better Business Bureau is a place where people can go complain about a business, and of course, the Better Business Bureau rates companies based on those complaints and how they're handled. So as you can see from this slide here, we have the highest rating that you can get, which is A+. And
Right.
the reason we do that, have that rating, is because we do what we say we're going to do. And as you'll see, there's also some great ratings out there right now from some of the people who've been through our training. So we have I think 4.9 out of 5-star rating.
There you go. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And folks, as you're looking at the screen, I know folks are going to go, "Oh my goodness, what does this mean? This business is not BBB accredited." I know that there are going to be some people who have fixated their eyes on that and not on the A+. Pat, just really quickly talk about what that means there.
Well, it just means that we haven't paid a membership fee. We have not paid the fee that the Better Business Bureau would like for every business in their city to pay. It's like $1,000 or so now, and we haven't had to do that. With an A+ rating, you just don't need to be a part of the Better Business Bureau. You simply do what you're going to do. Respond to any complaints that you might get over the years. I think we've got one on there that we've responded to. But if you're doing that, then there's no reason to pay that $1,000 a year and be a member of the Better Business Bureau. That's all that means, and you'll see that on the side. It explains that.
And thank you for addressing that with us today. All right, so as we're starting to look at this, obviously we need to know what our potential market for the services. So you always ask about, what a potential market is. And, I thought about this as we were developing, today's webinar. I thought, if I were going into a sandwich shop, my potential market would be people that would be hungry. So,
Yeah.
so everybody's going to be hungry. And so obviously that might be a good business opportunity for some folks. But in our case, we're looking at everybody's going to the doctor. I mean, I bet you everybody on the call has probably gone to the doctor within the last year, or they know someone who's been to the doctor.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Eric, most people think when they do think about going to a doctor, that just the general practitioner, your family doctor. But there are literally dozens of specialties out there, specialists that people
Right.
can do their billing for. And we've listed, a good portion of them at least there. As you can see, folks, I don't even know what some of those are, Eric. I mean, some of them are just really weird, specific specialties. But our licensees are able to do the billing for all those. So when you take all of those into consideration, not just in your city, but as you'll see outside your city, when we talk about territories, it's just an incredible market potential.
One thing we don't see on here, Patrick, is dentist. A lot of people ask, can I do dental billing? And, even if we had dental in this one list somewhere around here, that would be so small compared to all of the medical type of billing here that we're actually seeing here. So.
Yeah, the dental market is very limited. We tell people, look, why would you go after a market that's maybe 2% of the market that's out there? Go after the 98%. And once you've signed up all the doctors in your area, then you might think about dental. We can have people do dental, billing. There's web-based software that allow people to do that. But if you think about it, not many people go to the dentist as often as they go to the doctor, and not many people have dental insurance either. So
That's correct.
very few patients compared to doctors.
Yeah. So again, as you're doing your research, you always got to look at what your market potential is. And folks, we're just trying to give you a quick snapshot of that today, and showing you really the width of of how big this can actually become. It looks like someone here on our, and I'm kind of skipping ahead. Kathleen says, "I know all of those specialties." So there's someone that kind of can verify, really what's going on over there. So there's a lot of different specialties there out there.
Yeah,
All right.
she also asks a little bit further there about the licenses that we issue to people, that is to use our system and our training and so forth. Is it valid in all states or just Texas? No, you can do billing for anybody in the whole continental United States, Kathleen, as we'll show you here later.
Right. Well, obviously, we got to know that maybe even for us, we have competitors. We have people that are sort of doing the same things that we're doing, and obviously, we need. I think you've even said, Patrick, to make sure that your business is somewhat verified and validated, is to have competitors out there. I mean, for Coca-Cola, it's Pepsi, and for Avis, it's Hertz, and so. Obviously, even in our own business, we have competitors. You want to speak to that just real briefly, because there's one individual that does some things, but there's some other companies that try to emulate what we're doing. But again, it's a lot different from what we really talk about here.
Yeah, I was looking a while ago when I turned around for this particular book, and it is called Claim Success. Now, I don't know if it's still on the market or not because it's pretty outdated, but it did have a lot of stuff in there. The company who actually put out this book is telling you that you should create a fax campaign, for example, and blast faxes out to doctors in your area. You can be fined up to $10,000 per fax that you send to somebody that has not requested information from you. So we don't even talk about that. That's not something we recommend because you can get in trouble doing that. Advertising the Yellow Pages, I don't even know what that is. Does anybody actually use the Yellow Pages?
I know what my grandchildren will never know what a Yellow Pages is. That's the way it is. I know that.
And then they recommend that you go big with a billboard. So that's again a waste of money. And again, in our live training workshop here, we go through about a dozen different ways that we found over the last 22 years actually works. So I doubt that the person who wrote this book has ever been out there actually marketing medical billing services, or they would not have recommended these things here, for example. So be very careful. Check out the competitors that you think might be competitors to American Business System. But believe me, folks, there's not many. There are some schools out there that will teach you how to do billing or coding, but that's the type of courses that you'd want to take if you were going to go get a job in a doctor's office. Right. If you want to start your own business, ABS is about the only option you have out there. We're the only one with live training and ongoing lifetime support.
Well, again, what separates us from everybody else is not only do we have the educational piece to it, I think that's one thing that we need to stress, but then also the expertise of how to create a business. In fact, you and I know that we've had a lot of folks that have gone to these schools and said that they wanted to go start their own medical billing company, but they went through the schools. They said that the schools never taught them how to run a business, and we could have helped them shortcut a lot of that by just teaching them how to run a medical billing company, and then along the way teach them what they need to do in the actual medical billing side of everything, the educational side.
How to get clients. We'll cover that here a little bit later, but that's a very important part of what we teach that you won't get in your local college. They're just not going to tell you how to go out and actually sign up a doctor, get past the gatekeeper, educate the doctor, and get the information you need to be able to present a reasonable proposal to that doctor's office. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's continue to keep asking some questions, and as you're doing whichever one you're doing, business opportunity or franchise, but how to do any local market research. Now, Patrick, I know that we get asked quite often when we're dealing with folks that are doing their research and they're getting educated about this particular business. A lot of people like to maybe try to go pre-market, and I know that I want to address that just real quickly. Because a lot of people, obviously, before they put down any amount of money, they want to know if it's valid, and then a lot of times they try to go pre-market to see if they could go talk to their own doctors or do anything else like that. But I think once you address that, and then we're going to show how they can actually do some real market research.
Well, one thing they could do is just go on Amazon and look for this book. Now, for those of you who are not if you're watching the replay of this, of course, you can't see our live webcam that we have on here, but I'll give you the name of the book. It's by Entrepreneur Magazine, which has been around for 100 years or so, very trusted. And they have a book out called Start Up Your Own Medical Claims Billing Service. Well, that's pretty valid proof, folks, that we have a real business that's a valid business. Our entrepreneur certainly wouldn't be publishing this book. You can buy it right now through their magazine or in the major bookstores. And by the way, Eric, I don't know if you've ever seen this or not. Have I shown you in the back here? We're actually listed in the index here under medical billing companies that sell a business opportunity. We're the only company. In fact, there's another company listed, but they're out of business, and so we're back in the back of the book there. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to do some market analysis, not pre-marketing, because pre-marketing you could run into a lot of trouble here, because you could walk into your doctor's office and say, hey, doc, I'm thinking about getting involved in medical billing. Well, their first thing is, you got to remember, medical billing is probably their greatest pain. And guess what's going to happen if you poke that? They're going to come out with their claws coming out.
Right.
And so there's a difference between pre-marketing and market analysis, and that's what we're talking about here right now, market analysis.
Yeah, finding the doctors in your area is a good step, and we've actually put that right here on our website so that you folks can go out and see the actual market. It's tied into Google Maps, and you'll see little red dots all over the Google map if you put in your zip code like Eric's showing you there when you go to that on our website. So go to absystems.com and plug that in and see what kind of doctors show up in your area there. Now, Eric, I'm getting a couple of questions here I'd like to address before we get too far into it, just because they don't kind of fit in. But Robin, for example, says, would you recommend both of us coming to your class if we're both going to be doing the business? Yes, Robin, that's pretty important that anybody who's going to be partnering with you in your business, whether it's a spouse or a business partner, that they come to that live training workshop too. The good news is that they don't have to pay the full licensing fee, only one licensing fee, and then one seat available in the class. If there is extra seats available, sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. It's only about $1,000 more, $995 or something like that.
Right.
So be sure and check with your business development coach here at ABS and ask them if there are seats available, and go ahead and reserve those for the upcoming class if you want in it, because believe me, as Eric said, it's going to be full.
It'll be full. And WR is asking a question. He's asking if, or maybe it's a he, I'm not sure, but asking if this is being recorded. And yes, it is being recorded. So if you've got to pull out of this for your meeting here at the bottom of the hour, know that we'll have this posted probably by tomorrow. So
yeah, it'll be right there on our website that we just showed you, absystems.com, under news, and then blog. Go to our blog and you'll see it posted there by tomorrow morning. Yeah,
there you go. And again, folks, if you'll remember, what we just talked about is we're trying to help you find prospective clients in your area. Where you go is right there where it says income potential, and you can see to the left of it is you can look at medical billing income calculator and the income replacement calculator, and right underneath there is where you find doctors in your area. So you can go there at any time and be able to see what your potential market might look for. And you might even find you have family members somewhere else, or you might have a potential sales rep that you might want to work with in another state. Put in their zip code. You can do that too as well. Remember, as we'll talk about here in a minute, there are no territories, so you don't have to worry about that. Ask about what makes my company and products and services unique. So, Patrick, if I'm getting involved in your business here at American Business Systems, one of the things I certainly want to ask is, why is your medical billing platform different than anybody else's? That's what we're pretty much asking here.
Yeah, you got to have something in today's marketplace that differentiates you from the competition that's out there, other medical billing companies, for example. And one of the things that makes us pretty unique as a company in this industry is that we basically have all of the pieces that you need to be successful to get the claims paid for the doctors, to collect the money that's due them, and of course that means you're going to collect the money for yourself as well. And Eric is illustrating there that we have our practice management system there on the left. That's what you would use to do the actual billing. The EMRX is the electronic medical records that the doctor would use when they're actually interfacing with a patient. And the clearinghouse, why don't you kind of touch on the clearinghouse, what a clearinghouse is, Eric?
Yes, I think it's best illustrated with this next slide here. Folks, if you see what's being illustrated here, we've taken those four pieces of the puzzle and kind of put them all in some type of a diagram. One of the things that was on that last slide there that we didn't get a chance to address there is what's called the patient portal. So first of all, let me say this, that everything that we're looking at here is web-based. You as a medical billing company, you don't have to go load this on anybody's computer, the doctor's computer. You don't have to keep up with your own IT staff. You don't have to do anything. So again, imagine that the patient has a patient portal and a way to communicate with the doctor's office. They go see the doctor. The doctor is using EMRX. When the doctor gets through seeing the patient, well, that information is sent over to you as a billing company for you to use iClaim. Now, you can see inside of iClaim, we've got the clearinghouse inside of it. Folks, what that is telling you is that we have the only billing platform that can literally communicate directly to insurance companies. That's the advantage. When you have that advantage, what that's telling you and the doctor is that you can get them paid much quicker with much higher reimbursements and what I mean by higher reimbursements is that we're going to eliminate a lot of the rejected claims that happen if that clearinghouse is outside of the billing platform. We can do a lot right in there. So it all works together. So it's just a very seamless process that separates you from anybody else out there. And that's just a part of it. We're going to show you a few more other things that are actually built in there.
Yeah, most medical billing software and systems that are out there, folks, you have to upload your files to this third-party entity called a clearinghouse, and there's several of them out there. We've solved that problem of going to a third party and having them, put the blame on you and you put the blame on them and so forth by just having it all within our system. So if you don't get your rejection rate for doctors less than 2%, that's what our nationwide rejection rate is, then it's our fault. We don't blame anybody else. We'll fix that. We'll find out what's wrong, and that's a pretty low rejection rate compared to the national average out there.
Exactly.
It's about a third of all claims are rejected the first time they're submitted.
And the other aspect of the business, or at least on the platform of itself, the doctors can use an iPad to not only see the patient, but then can annotate in drawings just using their finger in, as we're demonstrating right here. And again, for you as a brand new medical billing company, imagine the power you have to present to a doctor, I'm going to help you draw directly on there. You're going to be able to do all of your e-prescriptions right through here. Again, you can see we were certified by SureScripts, the nation's e-prescription network, and that coupled right in with being able to see this in a format, even a mobile. So you've got such power here. Number one, like I said, you're not having to do anything to maintain this the software. This is all built in, ready for you to go.
Yeah, the doctors love this when they see this, folks, because they have access to the status of everything about their business right there on their mobile phone or any device that's connected to the internet, iPads or tablets or computers anywhere.
And then if the doctor doesn't want to type out their notes, again, they're able to speak this into their notes directly into the EMRX platform. That's the electronic medical records platform. And then I'm telling you, Patrick, the thing of the future is what I'm about to show next. Why don't you explain what we're showing right here?
Well, if you've never heard of telemedicine, folks, this is the future of doctor visits. Because there's a lot of times that you don't really need to go see the doctor face to face, so why go through all the traffic and the waiting and so forth when you can just set up an appointment with a doctor now right on your computer or your cell phone, probably, Eric. I think we've tested that out and it works even there. In other words, you're seeing the doctor's seeing you, and you're able to chat with them right across the internet in live real time. And the doctor can tell you what your needs are and prescribe something for you. That can all be done completely, totally electronically now. And then, of course, the billing is done by you as the ABS licensee for that telemedicine visit.
Yeah, so we've just kind of taken you on basically the uniqueness of your product, your service. And Patrick, we're just scratching the surface. We
Yeah.
haven't even talked about really of the other services. Let's just mention those other services real quickly. We're just talking just strictly right now medical billing. We're not even, matter of fact, as you talk about it, I'm going to actually bring up that slide with the other services. So if you want to talk to what I'm about to show here on the screen, Patrick, why don't you explain just real briefly, because we've only talked about two of these services that I'm showing on the screen. We've got other solutions for that doctor as well.
Yeah, folks, your main source of revenue in this business, of course, is going to be the billing for the doctor, as you'll see when we cover the income potential here a little bit later. But don't forget the fact that you can provide an electronic medical record system to the doctor that works on an iPad, that's designed for the iPad, that's just going to blow them away in their interactions with patients. It will save them time and money. And then there are auxiliary services, we call them, including the ones you see pictured here in this little illustration, from Audit Guard to CodeWrite to iDocs Now, the Physician's Toolbox, the Quick Collect, the Audit Card, and the Choice Pay. Those are all services that you'll find out more about on our website and in our virtual brochure if you engage with us, that can add additional income and revenue for you and the doctor.
Yeah, and so folks, as we're going through this, I mean, Patrick and I have been doing these webinars long enough that we could certainly overwhelm somebody with so much information. We try to keep it very simple. So again, as you are doing your due diligence and as you're going through researching your particular business opportunity or franchise, really speak to the other services. And then, with us here at ABS, we're advisory people. That's all we are. We don't have sales reps here at ABS. We have advisory people that help you kind of navigate through things, and that's basically what Patrick and I are trying to do today.
Yeah, we've talked people out of getting into this business, haven't we, Eric?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
depending on your circumstances, your level of devotion to this and the dedication to it, sometimes it's just not the right fit. We realize that. So that's why we call the folks here at the office that do work with people our business development coaches. They will coach you in doing your due diligence, like some of the things we're talking about here, to find out whatever business you're looking at, whether you're interested in our business or not. We're willing to help you with any of that research to find out if it's right for you.
And talking about advisory, one of the things that you could be asking your potential business opportunity company that you might be going into business with and or franchise is, do they have their own advisory board? Now, Patrick, we kind of talked earlier, way in the beginning of the webinar, that this is basically a family business that you and your family have kind of charted out there. But basically, it's not just you and your family running this business. You've got surrounded by you an incredible amount of skill and brain power that's going along with that. But plus, outside of that, you also have an advisory board. Tell us about who you have on your advisory board.
Well, some of the members of our board, we just wanted to mention on this webinar at least, is Dr. Vicki Ragner. Dr. Ragner is a retired general surgeon who has been advising doctors and consulting with doctors for the past few years. But she has great background and experience on how to get past the gatekeeper, to talk with the doctor intelligently about their business needs and their cash flow needs. And so she's on our board. We also have Terrence Patterson, who has been involved in healthcare administration for over 20 years. And then we have Jeanette Weiler, who's a certified professional coder. Again, folks, you don't have to know coding because we have coders who can help you with whatever coding you and the doctor needs. So these are just some of the people that you'll find on our website if you go there under, I think it's under About Our Team there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so folks, obviously we're not just sitting around and hoping that we can, present to you an idea of medical billing. We've got people that have either been in the industry, like Dr. Ragner, Terrence Patterson, who's been with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, and all these other people. So we've got an industry-wide group of people that actually help advise us, in turn to help advise you in making the right decisions for you.
Well, we also have, Eric, dozens, literally dozens of our own licensees who have been in this business for, 5, 10 years, and they are also on our consulting board that helps us with licensees who have questions about specific specialties and that type of thing. So you've got
Right.
all the people that you need to back you up in this business, folks, and that's very important to know that once you've started a business, you've got people that you can rely on. These folks you can actually talk to, as Eric said earlier, just get back with your business development coach and say, I want to talk with some of the people that you've mentioned on the webinar so that I can find out if it's for real. Some of these people actually have their own offices with their own employees. And if you arrange that with them, some of them will even let you come and visit them there if you're close by or if you want to fly in and spend a day with them.
Yeah, folks, we're trying to help you to make the wisest choice. So again, as you're doing your due diligence, you certainly want to make sure that you've got an opportunity to speak with others who have been in the business, who have been successful in their own business, and as you can see, these folks, as we mentioned earlier, are some of the people that have been set just on the same side of you, being on webinars with us as well. So again, you can go find a lot of these, Patrick. You've done a lot of interviews with folks, and I know you just did one just last week. We've got this one up here from last Wednesday. Folks, if you haven't heard this particular interview with Albert and Army Ramos, you talk about an inspiring, listening to folks that have been in this business. This is a great opportunity for you to hear a little bit about their story and then give these folks a call.
Yeah, you will laugh out loud at listening to Albert because he's from the Philippines. He's got a great attitude about this business, and he'll tell you his story as to how he got it started and how big he's grown it and so forth. You can see, well, that picture is when they actually graduated from our training class here, but on the webinar, you'll see him in his office that he has rented, that he has some employees working there with him, and it's a terrific way. And there's a lot of other webinars and interviews on that too. So that's a good way to check out. Again, we're talking about the success of the current owners. Well, we've got lots of success stories on that blog there.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. All right, Patrick, let's talk about this real quickly. And I know that we've kind of been bantering back and forth the two types of businesses out there. You have what's called a business opportunity and then a franchise. We want to make sure everybody understands that we're not a franchise. So you want to explain that real quickly, and then we'll talk about, asking your potential business individual you're going to get involved with, business opportunity or franchise, about ongoing fees. You want to talk first of all about business opportunity versus franchising.
Yeah, I guess the two key things that separates a business opportunity like ABS is versus a franchise is that, first of all, the cost is a whole lot more. Usually for most franchises are way more than $25,000 investment. But besides that, they also have territorial restrictions. For example, if you open up a Subway sandwich shop, you can only open it up within so many miles of the next Subway shop. And the same thing is true with most franchises. They do have specific drawn circle around your territory. Then you have the ongoing costs, which is what this slide is talking about. They're called royalty fees. So when you've signed on to the franchise, you also pay them off the top of your revenue each month, a percentage, usually 6 to 9%, somewhere in that area, goes right back to the home company forever.
Right.
And we have, well, show them our costs. That's on the next slide, isn't it, Eric?
Yeah.
These are our ongoing costs.
Right. There are no ongoing costs with us.
No. And folks, that means that there are no support fees. There are no extra licenses when you sign up a doctor. You can have as many people on the system as you wish. No user fees, in other words. No upgrades to the software fees. No ongoing support fees of any kind. We do the live demos, as we'll talk about later, at no cost to you. We give you the coaching that you need. There are no fees to ABS ongoing ever. It's really a lifetime fee that you pay up front.
That's correct.
Fee. Yeah.
Yeah, and folks, again, just to make sure that people understand that when we're talking about ongoing fees with American Business Systems, there's always business operational fees, and again, we've done several webinars on that already too as well. But again, get back with your business advisory coach here at ABS, and we'll kind of talk you through all of that and set the proper understanding for that. But again, for us, there are no royalty fees, there's no franchise fees, there's nothing that we're ever going to come back and ask you for more money. So that's money in your pocket right there. That's what we're talking about here.
Eric, I'd love to address just a few questions here, if we could.
Sure.
Kind of a mind state change here for people.
Sure.
Let's see, one of the questions was on the BBB website. This is Robin. She says, on the BBB website, there are no reviews that are available. There's actually a lot of reviews there, but you have to kind of know how to get to that. Eric, do you mind if I switch there to me and
oh, yeah, go right
show
ahead.
that right quick? Okay. So here I am at the BBB website. It'll load here in just a second. And I put that link to get to this page, by the way, for the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau directly in the little chat window on your control panel there for GoToWebinar. So if you look in there, you'll see the link that'll take you right to this page. You put in our name, put in Fort Worth, Texas there. That's where we're located, and press enter. And that should come up with our company name. You can see it right here. And I'm going to click on that. Once you're there, just click on Customer Reviews right up here. There's a little tab called Customer Reviews. And when you get there, you'll see a little positive experience that says there's 5 reviews in there. You can hit the little plus symbol, and you can actually read those reviews right there. So I just wanted to show that right quick for whoever asked.
No, I appreciate it.
Robin, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me see if I can getting that back to you. Or yeah, thank you for, let's see, let me populate this back up here and show my screen. Here we go. Let me put that back up there. There we go.
All right.
All right, so folks, now we're going to keep moving on. We're kind of watching the time here. We've got about 15 more minutes. But let's talk about marketing strategies for obtaining clients. Patrick, everybody that gets involved in our business certainly wants to know, how am I going to get that first client? That's going to be always the most challenging thing for most folks is how to do that. And we address that in several different ways. I mean, so first of all, I want you to talk about some of this information, and then what we're not even can't even hardly show what happens in the training class.
Yeah, this is also the scariest part for most people when starting a business, because no matter what business you start, folks, whatever the fees are or costs to get the business started, you're always worried about spending that money and then maybe not making that money back. So we just address this right up front. In our workshop, we actually take a full day of that 5 days where we're spending on the marketing, because that's a very important part. You don't have a business, right, without a client. So you got to get at least the first client. And the great thing about this business is that once you've gotten the first client, you will get all the clients you want from referrals, because doctors know one another. And if you're doing a good job for them, you'll get referrals from that doctor. But as you can see from this listing here, we've got professionally designed marketing materials and a book even that you can use, postcards, flyers. Folks, our training is in depth on this, and we again cover about a dozen different ways in our workshop as to how to actually get clients. Now, we don't give you a client. That's what owning your own business is all about. You got to learn to fish, right? We're not going to just give you a fish, but we're going to teach you exactly how to do it. The great thing is, again, we've had licensees tell us, all I did was do what you told me to get the first client, and then the business built from there. I get emails all the time, as you know, Eric, that I pass on to the company about licensees who said, I got another referral from another doctor. At some point, you can't stop it, because once you've got 2 and 3 and then 4 and 5, now you've got all these doctors referring to people to you. So you have to decide at some point how big you want to build this business. Good
Exactly.
problem to have, huh?
That's correct. Absolutely. Patrick, before we move off of the screen here, Wade, I'm going to address his question, because he's asking something very particular about all of this. He says, when I become a franchise owner, and really, hopefully we've addressed that, you won't be a franchisee, you'll be a licensee of ours. Will we be able to customize our marketing material, or will we be known as ABS? You want to address that real quickly?
No, actually, that is a good question, Wade. You're actually starting your own business, so we'll teach you in the class the basics of starting up your own business, how to name it, how to register it, how to get your own website, business cards. All of that's covered in our class. But it boils down to this: you're an independent business owner, and you can say that you're a part of the ABS network, the nation's largest network of independent medical revenue managers. But at the same time, it's your business. So you will establish your own company name, get a logo, and so forth. So we'll teach you exactly how to do all that. But you can see from this screenshot here, all of these marketing material flyers have a space on there where you can actually have your company name and logo. That's a part of your licensing fee that will personalize that material for you.
Yep. So part of it will be customized there. So, but we branded everything together to give it some consistency. But again, you'll be able to put your own logo, all of your customized information on there as well. Patrick, I know we've talked throughout the webinar today about restricted territories. You mentioned just a minute ago about Subway. You can't have another Subway sandwich shop too close or next door to another one. So obviously there's territories there, but
yeah,
with ours, there are no territories.
No, that's right. The territory is basically what you see there. The whole United States, any doctor that's doing medical billing in the United States on what they call the standard 1500 form, which you'll learn about in our training, that's a standard form that all those specialties we showed on the screen a while ago bill on that form. So, and territorial-wise, it includes the continental United States and, of course, Alaska and Hawaii, because they both also have the same medical system that we have here in the United States.
Exactly.
Hey, somebody is saying that they are able to see us too. Robin says, are you showing slides? Yeah. Now, it could be that on your computer screen, there is a way to adjust that. I'm actually looking here on my iPad. And look, I can adjust the size of this slide at the bottom here by hitting this little button right here and making it bigger. So it may be that you're seeing just us right now and can adjust that, Robin.
Yeah. All right. This is the favorite part I've been waiting to get to all afternoon is, really what is the potential income for an individual, and especially those that are getting involved in business. And Patrick, I think we're going to, at this point, drill it down to be as simple as possible to, number one, do a couple of things. Show those that are on the call today what they can actually make with just working with one doctor, and then with that one doctor, how they can get a return on their investment. You want to address that real quickly, and then we'll get started on this next slide?
Yeah, the great thing about this, guys, is that you are in charge. It is your business, so that you can do this any way you want to. But basically, you're filing those claims for the doctor. The money goes directly to the doctor from the insurance companies, and then you simply invoice the doctor for the percentage of claims that you've decided on and quoted the doctor on. Nationwide, that runs somewhere around maybe 6 to 8%, generally speaking. All across the United States, doctors are used to paying a percentage of the money that's actually collected. So on our website here, we've got a little calculator, we call it there, and you'll see that you plug in the numbers and you can actually see exactly what type of revenue that you could have for a doctor. So in our case, I think the numbers are already filled in when you go there. We've suggested that if you just have one doctor as a client, hopefully you want more than that, but one doctor who sees 20 patients a day, which is just average, really many doctors see many more than that, and 5 days a week. And if you're charging 6%, which is the low end really, of an average claim of $100, this will show you the type of revenue that you would have doing that billing. So when he hits the submit button here, these are just screenshots, but it will take you to this next screen, which, as you can see, shows $31,200 each year.
Yeah. And so let's break that down because I think, this calculation is happening in the background. So what Patrick and I are going to do right now, we're really going to break it down to the level of the doctor, to the patients, and what those lives are valued for the doctor. I mean, that's a great way to be able to kind of get this picture, and we've never shown this before. So folks that are on the call this afternoon, you're seeing something brand new we've never been able to even share with you. But let's just take one doctor. Again, that's where we started off, with one doctor. And as Patrick mentioned, on average, on a daily basis, that doctor is going to see about 20 patients. I mean, we've all been to the doctor. You would think there's 20 patients in the waiting room when we go there. I mean, it's always packed. But again, you're thinking 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon. I mean, that's pretty light for a doctor if you think about it. But what does the doctor think is a value on each one of those? Well, each one of those comes out to be $100 per life there. On average, that doctor's looking to make him or herself about $2,000 a day. Now, we think, wow, no wonder doctors can drive in all these expensive cars and have all these expensive homes and everything. Remember, this doctor's paying for staff and salaries and everything else to go along with that. So that's what we, as a medical billing company, want to try to guarantee at least this amount for a doctor. And that's why we did the calculation as we did. One doctor seeing 20 patients. In the doctor's mind, that's what's valued at them at $2,000 a day. Now, let's break this down to you. Now, let's take this $2,000 a day that you've just helped that doctor collect through using iClaim and EMRX. You're going to charge that 6%. 6% of $2,000. Your average earnings on that is $120 a day. That's great. I mean, if you think about it, but we get asked this a lot, Patrick. How long is it going to take me to make that $120 a day? Folks, you're talking about less than 90 minutes per day to do billing for one doctor. Now, if we just round it up to 2 hours, that's $60 an hour.
Yeah, 20 claims, folks. Now, if they're brand new patients that you're putting in the system, of course, it might take you a little longer the very first time the patient comes, maybe 5 minutes. But on average, it would take you about 60 seconds for each follow-up claim that you file for that patient. So once the patients are in the database, believe me, it's really fast.
So now let's take your average earnings on the year, and now we're going to kind of take what you've just done with the doctor and show you how this works with your return on your investment. So again, we're taking that $120 per day. Now remember, you're just billing for one doctor times 5 days per week. That's $600 a week for you times 52 weeks. There's where you get the $31,200 per year per doctor. That's the sort of behind the scenes calculation. If you just go to our calculator, you can do that without having to go through all of these hoops. But
yeah,
it does a good job, or helps all of us kind of see, wow, okay, 90 minutes or less a day, I can make $120. That's $600 a week. I can have my return on my investment with one doctor really within less than 1 year.
Yeah, it's called an ROI in business, return on investment. And folks, our license fee is just $25,000. So with one doctor, you've made that back. I tell people, Eric, if you want to know what it would take to replace your current income, whatever it is that you make now on your full-time job, just do the calculations here and see how many doctors do you need to replace that. If you make $60,000 a year, then you'd probably need 2 doctors. If you make $90,000 a year, you'd need 3 doctors, and so forth.
Right.
It's pretty easy calculations there.
Yeah, and then you just calculate those times. If we're talking about 2 doctors you need to make $60,000 a year, the time it's going to take you to do that, if we kind of base it on the 90 minutes there, well, that's an hour and a half times 2. Well, that's 3 hours. So 3 hours a day could earn you about $60,000 a year. So you could easily be able to do this. A lot of people ask, can you do this part-time? And you certainly can. So
sure.
We just want to kind of show that to you as well as what you're talking about. And again, that's where we get that $31,200 on this income calculator here. All right, now we're getting up close to the top of the hour, so let's go through a few more here.
Yep.
They need to ask about ongoing training and support. You want to dive into this one real quickly, Patrick?
Yeah, just be sure and ask the company that you're thinking about getting involved with, what kind of ongoing support am I going to get and training in the future. Folks, we do unlimited training and support for our licensees forever. As long as you're an ABS licensee, you have support at no additional cost, as we mentioned earlier. For example, these live demos that we do for your doctors that are prospective doctors of your clients for you, we do the demos. Our staff does the demo for you using GoToMeeting like this, and those are done at no cost to you, ongoing. That's very unusual in today's world that a company would do that. But since we make money on all of your transmissions to us through the clearinghouse, then of course we want to support you as forever. It's a win-win for both of us. And of
And
course, we
then you
have
have
our licensing support site. Eric,
yeah,
there's probably over 100 hours of training already posted here. And we do training webinars like this for our licensees on Fridays, by the way, that are recorded and posted here every week.
right. Every week. I mean, this is ongoing for us. And talk about ongoing. What about companies' plans for future products and or services? I mean, today, Patrick, we would have to. It would be a completely new webinar that we would have to do on talking about the research and development that's happening back behind the scenes, because it all builds around, as we see here, the technology and the information, the communication. So everything that's happening here with what we do here is ongoing, because folks, we're wanting to stay ahead of the curve whenever it comes to technology, and then also everything that has to do with on the medical billing side of it.
Yeah. Eric is
Let's
the director of research and development here, and so he keeps on top of all of this on a constant basis and shares that with the rest of my staff. We have meetings on these things and are constantly looking at what it will take for us to stay ahead of the competition and keep on the leading edge of technology. So,
folks, it looks like we're going to go over a little bit 4 o'clock. For those that are on our call, just give us a few more minutes here. Just stay with us. We'll get this wrapped up here quickly. Again, as you're doing your due diligence, you might want to ask about a copy of the agreement that you will sign. We'll be happy to do that today. Get back with your ABS business coach here, and obviously we'll get this out to you so you can start reviewing that and know exactly what you're getting from us here at American Business Systems.
Eric, I'm uploading a copy of the slides today that we've used into the GoToWebinar control panel. It's uploading right now. It's about halfway loaded. And so if you glance over there, folks, you'll be able to click on that here in just about another 60 seconds if you'd like a copy of these slides to share with a partner or spouse who couldn't make it. Be sure and send them to our website, our blog, to watch the recording that will be posted by tomorrow as well.
Exactly. And we've already mentioned this once before, but again, ask about a list of current references that you can certainly call. Folks, we've got folks that you can call. A lot of these people that are on the blog that Patrick's already interviewed, people, again, from all walks of life, and folks that you would think, wow, I'm a little bit scared. You think I could do this? Whether you're old, young, male or female, it doesn't matter what your nationality is. Folks, what you got to understand is that you're helping the doctors collect their money. And if you can help them to do that, the doctors doesn't care if you came from Mars. That's just what you need to understand, is that if you can help them collect, that you become their new friend.
And then be sure and ask about a money-back guarantee. Ask the company, if I invest in your business and it turns out to be not what I thought it was, can I get my money back? Believe it or not, we have one. Now, here's how it works. You come to our workshop here in Dallas, and if at any time during the live training workshop you feel that this business is not right for you, you just ask any of my staff for a full refund, and it will be granted with no questions asked. Folks, that is no weasel words in that. That guarantee is exactly what you see. And yes, some people have taken advantage of that in the past, a handful in the last 22 years. But the reason that we can do that is because we know what we have. We know that when you come to this workshop, you will sell yourself on whether this opportunity is right for you or not.
And talking about the live training, there are so many business opportunities and franchises that they may send you a video, or they may have all their training online. And with our business, that is just not the right vehicle to do the correct training. And we do have training. This is where we actually host our training here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And got a couple of shots here of the room that we do that in. And here's Patrick up there inside the training himself.
As you can see, folks, it's not a small room, but it's just right for our training. We can get a total of 20 people in the seats in this room. And so that's why we keep telling you that if you plan to come to the February training, you need to get back with your business coach and let them know that ASAP so they can reserve a seat for you there. In the middle picture there is the instructor that's actually coming down this time to do the training, Cynthia Anderson. She is a licensee, has been for 8 years, and we pay her, of course, to come down and do the training because she's out there in the field running her business and can tell you the right way to do it and to get to the success that she's had.